Hi there. Welcome to Apple World Future Ability. Nas is the best. Jay Z, great business. Speculatively, it was 50 cents. Number one. Then, at that point, who might it be? Jay after that. Likely not. They're worried about the possibility that those children are going to be 50 cents, assuming they recognize the material. So they don't give you the prizes. I got the checks. I didn't get the prizes. Jay got every one of the prizes, man. That is on the grounds that he marked that agreement. What contract, you all? On the off chance that you don't sign, you don't give him a prize. She ain't coming. 50 Cent has gotten down on Jay Z and Diddy for forfeiting individuals to move their professions up. What's more, a portion of the charges he made are really difficult, including Jay Z and Diddy being liable for or, if nothing else, taking part in the passings of different rappers. Does 50 Cent truly have data on Jay Z and Diddy's dim parts? Are Jay Z and Diddy truly forfeiting different rappers just to get on top? How about we dive in? The opposition in the rap game is in many cases merciless, particularly when thinking back to the 90s, when everybody was a criminal, everybody needed to pop off, and nobody needed to get slack. There are nonetheless rappers who might do anything to cross anybody to make it on top.
As indicated by 50 Cent, Jay Z and P. Diddy are two rappers who fall into that classification of rappers for whom no expense is too perfect to even think about paying as long as it pushes their vocation forward, regardless of whether that implies disposing of different rappers. Presently, all of you realize that Jay Z and Diddy have consistently confronted Illuminati claims and been associated with offing rappers as penances to the Illuminati. Those tales are coming to the best case scenario. So we should zero in on 50 Cent's claims that Jay Z and Diddy have ripped various craftsmen off through their record marks. One rapper that promptly strikes a chord while discussing Jay Z's obscure dealings is the unbelievable rapper Coolio, who kicked the bucket a year ago. On a Wednesday evening in September last year, Coolio was at a companion's home in LA when he went to the restroom and never returned outside. At the point when the companion minded him, he found Coolio dropped on the floor. Paramedics would later affirm that Coolio kicked the bucket on the spot for a really long time. The subtleties behind Coolio's passing stayed obscure. However, many individuals thought he kicked the bucket from heart failure. A significant number of Coolio's nearby partners and family realized that he has been fighting some basic medical problems for quite some time. Yet others accept that Jay and Diddy were in some way or another associated with Coolio's passing as a direct result of certain meetings. Coolio did not long from now before he kicked the bucket that recommended that he could have been apprehensive for his life. Clearly, Coolio had soil on certain individuals in the business, and he needed to uncover them for what their identity was, so they needed to act and quiet him before he could emerge with any dooming data. Specialists later affirmed that Coolio had undiscovered heart conditions that ultimately prompted his passing. Yet this never really kept individuals from hawking that Jay and Diddy were essential for the positions in the Illuminati that arranged a hit on Coolio. Yet, might there be any reality to the charges? When it's all said and done, Coolio's case is only one in the series of tricks attached to Jay and Diddy over their long-term vocations. For instance, certain individuals accept that Diddy was liable for Famous Huge's demise, with strong proof to back it up. Infamous B.I.G., otherwise known as Big Deal Smalls, was a notorious rapper who kicked the bucket way too early at the youthful age of 24. In spite of the fact that his demise occurred a long time ago, it remains a secret. Big Deal's demise truly hit the roads hard, and sooner or later, individuals just needed to continue on. So everybody just stayed with the story that Big Deal was felled in a hit-and-run assault. Yet, right? Back in February, Diddy's previous guardian, Eugene Quality Dial, otherwise called Uncle Ron, guaranteed he had intelligence on who truly killed Big Deal and why. Uncle Ron asserted that he and Diddy were behind Big Deal's vehicle the night Big Deal was killed. Furthermore, in spite of everybody's thought process, it was anything but a hit-and-run assault. How about we think back? That evening we were at Andre Harrell's home, and I let you know that this feline was coming to kill us, or attempt to get at us. That evening, I let you know I had intel. However, you would have rather not heard it. Allow me to give you something, dog. You would have passed on very much like your dad did that evening in the event that I wasn't in that frame of mind with you. Do you get it? Your dad passed on in light of the fact that he planned to narc and betray his team. Furthermore, that is everything New York Freddy planned to say to you. He planned to inform you regarding your dad. You get it? He planned to let you know that your dad took a taped admission and a composed explanation that they had a cop on their finances, and they gave him $10,000 for that data. What's more, the man who killed your dad was crying the hardest at the burial service conveying the coffin. Every son follows after his dear old dad, fundamentally. Uncle Ron was saying that the projectile that took Big Deal out was intended for Diddy, and it was Diddy's issue that Big Deal wound up dead that evening. They were all at a historical center party when Uncle Ron said he found an unidentified man attempting to get to Diddy's vehicle in the wake of reprimanding the man. He watched him enter one more vehicle left on a similar corner where Big Deal was at last shot. Uncle Ron said he advised Diddy then that somebody was on a mission to get them to that party, yet Diddy failed to address it. Diddy declines to make a move and then checks out when you discover that he had previously offered Uncle Ron $30,000 to take out Big Deal, yet Uncle Ron wouldn't gather the cash. He guaranteed that Diddy felt the Big Deal was a danger to his own vocation, so he needed to find one more method for taking him out. In that video, Uncle Ron just had a ton to forget about on the grounds that, apart from fundamentally pining Big Deal's passing on Diddy, he likewise guaranteed that Diddy had a few frightful things to do, dealt with everybody around him like poo, and was not a hero to be near. Furthermore, after so much, Diddy continues to benefit from Big Deal's heritage a very long time after his heartbreaking demise. To the surprise of no one, 50 Cent needed to advise Diddy to quit benefiting from Big Deal's memory and allow him to find happiness in the hereafter. Diddy has most certainly done a great deal to respect Big Deal, from examining his music to delivering a famous B.I.G. biopic and, in any event, referring to Big Deal in his own tunes. In any case, it seems like sooner or later, Diddy quit doing it for Big Deal and, on second thought, began doing it to create a gain for himself. After a tune named Phantom of Christopher Wallace by Jay Electronica was delivered, 50 had enough. He called Diddy out, saying, "This is simply getting discourteous. This tune doesn't actually help me to remember Big Deal in any capacity, with the exception of having the Puffy Foundation moving and ad-lib introduction that nearly obliterate a decent tune. It appears to be a ton." In any case, Panther Wright has likewise made a few upsetting charges against Diddy that make Uncle Ron's claims appear to be conceivable. In this video, she guaranteed that Diddy was attached to involving his power as the proprietor of Terrible Kid Amusement to bother his staff and specialists under him into doing a few frightful things just to satisfy his self-image, similar to things that would make you at absolutely no point ever need to work with Diddy in the future. She additionally guaranteed that every individual who began in the game with Jay Z had in some way or another kicked the bucket only for Jay to get to where he is today. One of the models she referred to was Enormous L, who even put Jay Z on in any case. We as a whole understand how Tupac's demise hit the business and how everybody grieved and is still grieving his passing. It turns out Jay Z and Kanye's maker, Mike Dignitary, chose to take a portion of Tupac's unreleased tracks after Tupac's demise. In a meeting with HuffPost Live, a senior member said after Tupac passed on, "Daz Dillinger and I took a lot of staggers from Suge Knight. We delivered 6 tunes that were truly insane. These tunes were from Tupac's unreleased Machiavelli collection, where he just mentioned many huge names like Jay Z and Diddy B.I.G. Andre. Furthermore, we should not fail to remember the reality that certain individuals have guaranteed that Jay Z could have contributed to Tupac's demise since he was the one that benefited the most from it. This was the point at which the East Coast-West Coast hamburger was all the while seething and rappers were dropping like flies and irregular shootings and pose-related battles. Hov was a legitimate hooligan, as was Diddy. Indeed, even Diddy emerged to laud Jay Z for filling Tupac and Big Deal's shoes in a Twitter space coordinated by Jay and Diddy to observe Big Deal's 50th birthday celebration. So in certain spaces, there is still this overall conviction that Jay Z's vocation couldn't have ever popped off on the off chance that Tupac and Big Deal had not kicked the bucket. This rundown is correct? I don't believe that you could truly assemble a rundown like this without being one-sided at certain places, since somebody's very own appreciation for these craftsmen is making them place them where they place them.